Hello and welcome to South Philadelphia. I am currently outside of Molly's Books and Records, where they have a $2 record bin out here, and about to go purchase the records I chose. But today we're going on a bit of a day trip around the Philadelphia area, checking out things that you can do with minimal COVID exposure, because the Delta variant's a thing, and there's plenty of cool walky aroundy outdoors, mostly things you can do without risking exposure to COVID. So let's go. You know, I'm actually old enough to remember stuff like this in nursery school, where they actually had a record player. I'm like an adult now. It's weird.
That's a nice. Cello luna menso mare, mamma mia mi mare tare. E figlia mia tutte dare, mamma mia pensarci tu.
Here we go. Okay, you'd think after going to a whole bunch of hole-in-the-wall places on my Rail Pass adventure, I'd know to carry cash with me. But no, off in search of an ATM. Success! Gotta say, window order is a good system during a pandemic. Okay, so I came here to get a roast pork sandwich, and the guy at the window asked me if I wanted the tourist version or the way he does it. And he said the way he does it is a bit more authentic to non-tourists. So I went with the way he did it, and we're gonna find out just how good it is at our next destination.
Se c'è chi ha la fantasia, razzo lì alla figlia mia. Oh mamma, la 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 la. Oh mamma, la 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 la.
So this is my first time in the Italian market in Philadelphia, and I must say, it is pretty awesome. Would love to come here and check out the meat and cheese shops and make something with meat and cheese. But that's not in keeping with today's theme. Today's theme, we're trying not to go inside places much. So we're off to another very cool outdoors walking around kind of destination. And now we're here on the north side of Philadelphia at Fairmount Park. And just like I told myself last time I drove through Center City, Philadelphia, I am never driving through Center City, Philadelphia again. That is not a fun thing to do. This looks like a good roast pork sandwich eating bench. Okay, this looks incredibly messy, but it also looks like it'll probably be incredibly good. So here goes, the local style roast pork sandwich, which is apparently the second most famous sandwich in Philadelphia after the, what's it called, turkey steak? Whew, that was spicy. Did not realize there were like whole hot peppers in that thing. And I'm out of water, so my mouth will be on fire for a while. But now to explore Fairmount Park. So our first stop is unfortunately closed. There's a cute little Japanese garden here in Fairmount Park, but you can see a bit from behind the walls. So this here is a food forest, which is unfortunately not a forest you can eat, but rather a sustainable mini ecosystem with all sorts of different plants that kind of complement one another. So this sundial is cool and all, but whose idea was it to build a sundial where it's pretty much just blocked by trees?
for the answer. I cannot find the finish. It's either this or that way. It's one way or the other. It should be one direction. It could be on reflection. The turn I had just taken.
And now I'm here at Valley Forge National Historical Park. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time to see all of it. It's pretty spread out. But we're going to take a look at George Washington's headquarters. Got the classic Valley Forge fencing here. I'm sure everyone has seen pictures of this at some point. The guards who used these cabins were actually George Washington's personal guard, and he requested that they be native-born Americans, so they had a vested interest in the Revolution. I think you can go inside, so let's check it out. Up here we have the Reading Railroad Valley Forge Station, built specifically to cater to tourists to this park. The Reading Railroad no longer operates these trains, in fact it no longer exists, but we'll learn more about it in a future video, so stay tuned. And then here is General Washington's headquarters, where George Washington made his plans for the spring of 1778. This house was built in 1760 by Mr. Isaac Potts, and it was rented to the General for the Valley Forge encampment. Fun fact, about a year before Valley Forge, George Washington led a mass vaccination of US troops against smallpox. So vaccinating people, isn't that new? If you haven't already, please, please, please get a COVID vaccine. They are available for everyone 12 and up, they're free, you don't need health insurance, plenty of information online. So Valley Forge was home to the Continental Army from the winter of 1777 to the early spring of 1778. And it was one of the darkest moments of the Revolutionary War. The British were still holding their own, and the American army was dealing with a lot going on in their camp, a lot of disease, a lot of death. And I know it's not exactly comparable, but facing a fourth surge of COVID after the vaccines, after we thought we were over this, maybe feels a little bit like that. But Valley Forge didn't last forever, and neither will the Delta wave. There are so many unknowns. By the time I post this video 2 weeks from filming it, there could be a lot more scientific data about it, and some of it might not be good. And we're gonna have to change our risk assessments, even if we're vaccinated. And that's why I think it's really important to find ways to travel and to have adventures and to learn new things that are low risk, whether or not that's the only appropriate risk. It's really helpful, I think, to be able to get out and just explore your own backyard and stay sane by doing something you love, even if things are going crazy. Because for every Valley Forge, it's gonna be a Yorktown. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.